What's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My office is super messy, and that's the way it is going to be today. Okay. You got one of the kiddos' pants down there, or his shorts. Yeah, good times. Welcome again. And we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. I'm going to try and keep this short, but short is going to be hard. Definitely probably a half hour, but could be more. So let's get to it, shall we? As long as you can hear me, throw something in the comments, say hi, say where you're from. I don't know. Say hello to somebody else. All right, let's get to it. So I'm going to share the screen here. Actually, I want to make sure that you can hear me. Yes. All right. I asked questions and people responded. So great. Okay. I'm going to share the screen here. And first things first, we got a little bit of 5G news. It's been kind of quiet of late, right? But here is our first 5G news. Now, before I got to the 5G news, I wanted to note that Bobcat has launched their app. Now, we're going to be talking a little bit more at the probably the end of the show about the new wallets that are coming, and specifically Helium's wallet that they're having, and they're going to link together. So that means that each manufacturer will have an app of their own, and then you'll be able to like kind of onboard through that app, and then it will link to your wallet, your Helium wallet. So it's going to be quite complicated, and so we're going to step through that. This is going to be a huge kind of education effort, so there's going to be a need to watch some videos. So I'm going to be very lengthy about things today, but then show me what you like, tell me what the sticking points are, and then I'll refine some content and make it nice, short, and sweet, so you can send the videos to your friends who are maybe not up to speed. And as we're going to talk about wallets, do not forget that if you share your seed words with somebody, they have access to your crypto forever. Okay. Unless you move that crypto off before they can get to it, they have your crypto and also your miners. If you have Helium miners linked to your wallet and you give your seed words to somebody, those miners could disappear at any time. So you always want to protect those seed words. That's our big point. If you've got some other security tips in the in your head that you do, throw them in the chat, throw them in a comment, and I'm also going to try and get some content together for just onboarding to crypto and what you need to know there. So yeah. All right. So that's enough on the wallets. Now, here's the cool stuff. Future of 5G. Oops, we got to go back. Oh no, we lost it. All right. So the 5G miner is the Bobber 500. So Bobcat announced, I think this past week, that they are launching the Bobber 500, which will be pretty much a Freedom Fi unit. So we can go back to the press release here. I keep missing it. There we go. All right, so here's the press release, and basically they partnered with Freedom Fi to launch this. So that means that now this is some news that I think deserves attention to Bobcat. As you know, they were the top provider in the Helium Noble Awards, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so they had the most reliable shipping. Now, some people complain that it took, it takes 20 whatever weeks is they're quoting. But for them to get the partnership, this is quite big. So congrats to Bobcat on this. They're getting the drop on it. So this is the picture. It should function pretty much like a Freedom Fi so far. And so that's really exciting. Yeah, so they did take are starting to take requests for pilot users, and there is a pilot form that you can fill out, a Google form that you And it basically says, I would like to be participate in the pilot, and I'm willing to put up some money to pay for this equipment. I understand that I'm not getting this equipment for free, and if I return it, everything's going to be inspected and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of language around that. If you are looking for that link, I don't know if I have permission to share it like widely. It's on the Helium Discord, so I guess if somebody drops it in the chat, that's fine. I might drop it in the comments later, but I don't want to like inundate that with requests, because you got to be pretty technical and willing to be patient, right? I've had my Freedom Fi set up for geez, I think since last November or December sometime, um, and it hasn't made any money as far as 5G mining is concerned. I was able to test some things out and just prove things out, but like there's no ROI on it right now. So you're kind of just sitting there waiting and testing if you like. So again, congrats to Bobcat on that announcement. They have some more details on the press release. I won't get into all of the details in there, but it's exciting nonetheless. So we have another 5G in case you didn't want to go with the Freedom Fi unit. I don't know anything more about shipping, if it's going to ship direct like Bobcat does already or not. I hope it's nice to do that. So I also don't know about any referrals, but I'm assuming that I guess there is a field on there that you can put a referral code. So if this is the first time that you've heard about the pilot form, hey, give me some props. Put my name on there, either my name or my referral ID is Charlie Tango. So you can put that on there and give me some props and sign up to be part of the pilot. So that is fun. Okay, let's see here. Next, I'm just going to go back to the stream here and get some comments. Okay, no comments or questions at this point. So we'll continue on. All right, next thing of note is Hotspotty. So Hotspotty is launching, I believe April 2nd is the official date. So if you are familiar with Hotspotty, pretty much a bunch of their functionality has kind of, or if not all of their functionality, has been like live for everybody to see. And I think the last time I featured them on my channel, of course the like kind of the data side was very, very awesome. It was a little slow, laggy, and I talked about that. That's part of building tools. So they're now feeling like their speed and everything is up to snuff, that they actually want to start with some pricing and putting some of their functionalities behind paid plans. So let's go take a look at that real quick. So if you have feedback on this, I'm sure that they would be welcome to hear it. I got kind of confused a little bit right away, but I'll walk through that. So this is a two-step sign up process. So you can select your feature plan. So the community is the free. So it is freemium. So you'll get all of these features included. So, hey, there's an Android and iOS app. I hadn't seen that until now. But you'll be able to communicate with other hotspot owners, do your real-time status checks, transmit scale simulations, and then advanced commission tracking, which is cool. If you step up to the pro version, you'll get everything in the community, plus elevation contours, advanced location planning, hotspot monitoring and notifications, and then bulk commission payouts and taxes, which would be pretty darn cool. So I believe this is like, I think it's well, the price changes on how many hotspots you have. So this might be if you're a small fleet owner or you're just managing your friends and family type of thing. The next step up is a business. So pretty much if you're in this, you're doing it with other people in coordination with a bunch of other people to run something together. So this is, you basically get kind of the shared account, if I understand it right. and then everybody, like up to 10 team members, can work on that together and send out payments and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a huge fleet owner and you want to do all this, you can do that. There's also bulk import locations and contacts. You'll be able to upload pictures and documents as well. So there are a lot of storage options there. And then, of course, if you, with every kind of software model, if there's an enterprise and there's something huge there and you want to use that, then you'll definitely want to reach out to them and contact them to get your own, uh, to get some information or pricing, discounts or whatever they have to offer. But it's cool that they're actually going to a point where they can launch the company and make money. So I'm going to select the pro version. In my mind, I'm just going to pretend that I'm at least continuing the people's hotspot, and I want to um, do payments and stuff and get notifications, right? So um, that's what I would do. So there are 4 hotspots in the people's hotspot. So it's Hotspotty Pro is $5 plus $2 for 4 hotspots. And so that would be $7 a month is what I would pay to basically manage the people's hotspot under this plan. So basically, you just want to make sure that you're getting your rate here, and then you're entering how many hotspots you want to manage here. So let's just go through a couple things. If I go up to 10 hotspots, then it's $5 for 10 hotspots. So what happens if I go to 100? Okay, $35 a month. So yeah. I don't know if there's any other questions or feedback that you all want to have. I'll jump back over to the stream and y'all can put something in the comments. I don't see anything, so we'll keep on going. But yeah, if you do have some comments, leave them in the chat here. All right, moving right along. Whoops. Hotspotty is, and just to look around that, just wanted to highlight Puny Pecan Eel here. It's got some witnesses here, and let's put that out. So this is pretty cool. So I was just chatting with somebody, I think on Twitter the other day, and they're also on Long Island. And so I was saying, hey, they're like, "Hey, what kind of performance is my hotspot going to make?" And I was like, well, take a look at Puny Pecan Eel. If you're near the sound or something, or near open water, there you go. So the primary direction of all this is headed over across the sound. So that's pretty neat. If you didn't know, the people's hotspot, here's the hashtag. I started that last year when everybody was waiting for their hotspots, and basically they would skip it forward, kind of a pay it forward type of idea, and they could use my hotspot while they were waiting for their own to figure out what kind of setups they needed to earn more. And then once they get theirs, then they'll be able to swap it out, and then it just continues along the way. So I have 4 of these, 2 in the US, 1 in the UK, and 1 in Australia. And turns out some CPAs were not wanting to work with me because the 2 were international and they didn't want to deal with international regulations. And so that might actually lend into me discontinuing the international side of it, but then see if I wanted to keep going on the US side. Still some things to consider. I think one of the early things that I had mentioned was when you could get a hotspot in a month or less. So light hotspots are almost out, and if that goes with the delivery, hopefully quicker delivery than we had in the past, then maybe I can continue the program altogether. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to talk with all the existing and former hosts about what they think about it. So little touching base on the people's hotspot. Okay, let's get to the last point And this is the Helium wallet. So if you have not read, this is, I mean, it's kind of old news ish, but this is a month ago that Helium posted that their apps are changing. So I talked about this a little bit at the beginning. So each of the makers are starting their own apps. So that's how you're going to onboard. So you're going to have a Bobcat app and a Nebra app and so on and so forth. So that's going to be a little bit different than what we've done all through the Helium app today. And so it's going to link with the Helium app. And so there's some nuances to that. And that's why they want to kind of do this education effort. So there's actually a grant going out to a bunch of people who are beta testing this and wanting to create content around this to help get the word out, because there are some definite changes that kind of make you go, huh? What do we need to do now? Is this secure? Am I gonna, what do I do? And as always, don't share your seed words with anybody. Nobody. And as we're talking about future apps that are coming out, there is a ripe field or ready for people throwing uh, different links out there and asking for your seed words. So the only app that you should ever put your seed words into is the Helium app, and it needs to be the official app. So no other maker should be asking you that. If they are, that's probably not the right app, or they've got some work to do on their end. But I would not enter those seed words in any other app at this time, unless until further notice. So if you start that writing down your words in the app, do stop. Okay, stop and ask. All right, that's enough for that. So let's take a look at some of this stuff. So we talked about the makers introducing their own apps. Helium's going to release a brand new app called the Helium Wallet. So there's the Helium app, but then there's the Helium Wallet app that will manage your HNT and your identity on the Helium network. So there's a beta going on, and I'm a member of it. So we'll do some demos here of it as well. And all users will be encouraged to use the Helium Wallet app. The original Helium app will reduce its scope to manage Helium hotspots only. So that's the OG Helium hotspots. Wallet functionality will be disabled over time. So you're going to migrate your account from the original Helium app that we all use today to a new app called the Helium Wallet app. And here they have some different screenshots. And so this is what it would look like. You got your import. Now, key difference here is they have a 12 words or they have a 24 words. So all of our accounts, our wallet seed words were 12 words and originally, but now they're adding 24. Now, is it better? Is it more secure for the 24 words? Yes. Is just because you have a 12-word account, are you not secure anymore? No, not to say that. I mean, it's pretty good, and they talk about that in an FAQ around this. But bottom line, you take the 24 words, and you might actually want to migrate your account from the 12 words. So you import or even just leave your old seed words on your old phone or old app, but then create a new one in the 24 words, and then you can move your crypto from one wallet to the other. Now, some concerns around this, and if you have security concerns or tips in this, I definitely leave them in the comments. When you create this new 24 word, you want to try and do that on a fresh phone. So what does that mean? Is basically a phone that has just been factory reset. Okay. The reason why is that a lot of times, if you've clicked on links or gone to websites, certain websites have it out there that basically they can input keyloggers on your phone. And this has happened to many people. And it's been very sad because people have lost a lot of crypto in this. So it's best if you use a new phone to create this wallet. Or if you have a cold storage wallet like a Ledger or something like that, then you can use that because support for that is in existence, and also there's more coming as well. So that's one little security tip: is try and create this on a fresh phone. If you can get a hold of, an old phone, dig it out of a drawer, and then factory reset it, and then install the app, that's definitely what you want to do. Now, the other tip that I would give you is try and pair to your cellular phone rather than pairing to your Wi-Fi in case something's on your Wi-Fi network that would install some bad stuff on your brand new or factory reset phone. So these are some tips that I've learned since I've started in this. I'm sure there's a lot more. Again, if you have tips of your own that you'd like to drop and share with everybody else, please comment and add them as well. I like this little, also it's a pill shape, and there's the blue pill and the red pill. So that's fun little design nuance in there. Oh yeah, one more thing on this is that you'll be able to add contacts. So if you are operating a small fleet of ownership, and you want to send Bob or Dad their crypto, then you'll be able to save those wallets in here. Another awesome thing is that you'll be able to have multiple Helium wallets on one app. So they call it multi-account access. So you'll be able to import them all and manage them all in a single app without signing in and out. So right now you'd have to enter the seed words every time. You'd have to do the sign out and then enter all the words back in. And keep in mind, every time you do that, you're risking that new wallet. And also, if you somehow lose that phone and it's not protected well, somebody can get in there and access all of your wallets. So it's probably a good idea to still, on your most secure accounts, don't put them all on one. If you need it, maybe keep that extra phone that you just create wallets on for when you need to go back and access that. So it's a little bit more effortful, but it's also a little bit more secure. And bottom line, maybe not even have it signed into anything at all, and just when you need it, then you sign in and use your seed words. So yeah, that should be another nice tip. Talks about deep linking. Deep linking is a technical term. So this is kind of important, that the maker apps will be able to deep link to the Helium wallet app to sign transactions, including adding a hotspot, updating location, antenna, and elevation, and transferring a hotspot. So this means users only have to enter their seed phrase in one place and not individually in each maker app. So you would you'd enter your seed phrase in the Helium wallet, and then the other maker apps would reference that. And they talk a little bit in this FAQ about how that works. If you're on testnet, then you can, there's actually a little thing in the demo that I'll show you, is that you'll be able to put TNT, which is the testnet network tokens, in there to do stuff with and send them around. So you'll be able to do that. And multi-payment features. So this is pretty cool. You'll be able to send multiple recipients in one payment transaction. So people have been using this in the wallet CLI for over a year, and now they're bringing it into the actual Helium wallet app. So that's pretty cool too. We talked about address book support, so you can have contacts. Oh, Nanos X support. That's really exciting. And then this just goes into more information as to kind of why things are changing and will be over in control of the makers, and that they can have their own apps. Think about it, just having your diagnostics, like you add the hotspot, and then immediately you can see the diagnostics. Like it would kind of help that, jump over and, oh, I added my hotspot. Now what's happening with it? Did I do it right? Is it up? Is it working? So then there'd be able a little bit better transition between those kind of support level requests, right? So that's kind of what it talks about there. And then keep even those diagnostics things are that they're going to be on the makers and that they'll have the ability to do all that information with it. And if there's extra functionality there too, then they'll be able to do that. Here is an interesting one. With what light hotspots coming around the corner, team realized Bluetooth connectivity might not be the most effective way to add a hotspot. So they have started using QR codes generated from their web dashboards to onboard hotspots. And while it works fine in the Helium app, it's not the ideal user experience. So that's going to be interesting, is that you'll be able to just scan that and add it within their app. There's more FAQ. You can read this. I won't go through all of it, but there are some interesting things as far as like, hey, do they have to do this? Do we have to go through this? Yes, we have to. It is not sustainable. And bottom line, if you want more functionality from Helium, then they need to get this stuff off their plate. All the differences between miners, the manufacturers, and more manufacturers coming online, it's just not conducive to focusing development on core Helium functionality, right? So this is going to be a good move for them. So, and this is another good question, is like, what if my maker doesn't have an app yet? Will I be kicked off the Helium Hotspot app? No. So there's a little bit of maintenance, but the idea is to keep getting lower and lower the number of makers on there. And of course, if you have the OG, it's not going to go away. That's going to stay there. Here's the part about why are 24 words better. And then this talks about the linking the Maker app to the Helium wallet. So you can do that, and they're saying officially that you can safely sign blockchain transactions without re-entering your seed phrase. So it's very, very important to understand is that that's a safe operation. And this is an example of that. Is like, hey, do you want to add your hotspot to the blockchain? Okay, and you confirm it. And then this is the part that gets a little technical. So once you confirm the transaction, the Helium Wallet app signs the transaction with your private key derived from the seed phrase and sends the signed transaction back to the maker, who then submits it to the Helium blockchain. So this is a lot of technical stuff, and so I'll try my best at doing this. But if you've got another way to describe private and public keys, by all means, drop it in the comments, and that will help. So your seed phrase gives you like a way of disguising that in such a way that you have this thing called a private key, and you need your seed phrase in order to generate that private key and then sign a transaction. Now, when you sign a transaction, that means that basically it's like a rubber stamp of approval, or think of a ring, a signet ring or whatever, that you sign that, and nobody else can make that because it's your private key, and nobody else knows your private key. And so only basically because on the back end, the seed words are on Helium side, like they'd be able to see that and decrypt and understand that, oh, this is this is you, and you're adding this to the blockchain at this wallet. So basically, that's how you can keep it all safe and secure. This is not anything new. Technology has been doing public and private key signing for a long time. So, and then of course, blockchain is built on this idea. So this part is very safe. The key thing here is to protect those seed words. If you have any doubt, ask somebody before you enter the seed words in that particular app or anything like that. All right. A lot of boring stuff about Helium wallets. Let's get to a demo. So this should be fun. Let me set up for the demo because I got to I just got some new equipment and this is fun. So let's see here. I got a demo phone here, and this is actually what I use for the people's hotspot when I pay people. So let's see here. Screen capture. All right, let's go to, and bear with me here. I know it's black. I hope you can still, yes, you can still hear me, and it's not coming in yet. There we go. Should be coming in momentarily. There. All right. Oh, interesting. I don't know why, but it is reversed. Let's see if I can make something. There we go. I just clicked a button. We're good to go. All right. So this is the app, testnet, or the Helium wallet app. I suppose I could go back out to what it looks like. So this is, I'm using an iPhone, and on there down at the bottom is the Helium wallet app itself. And this is the, now it goes through a couple different screens here. So you can see that there's mainnet and testnet. Testnet is the one that's used for testing. So I could create an account and actually get dropped. I can go to the faucet site and get some TNT and play around with the app and show different transactions and that kind of stuff. So let's go back here. Oh, I can also create a new account. So, or link with Ledger. Ooh, this is exciting. And then create a new account. So this would be, and by default, as it said in the instructions, is by default 24 words. And I'm not going to go through it, but this is where you would create you go through and get all the words and go retain these. So you write them down. Don't if don't screenshot them. Don't put them in your what is it? Your cloud storage. Some guy just lost like millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin because they stored their seed words in the cloud. All right. I got to restart the app so that I don't go through there. So I've already connected up to the faucet and done some, gotten some stuff from there, so I can actually send. If you're on testnet, I could send it to you. You can select a contact, you can add a new contact. You'd need their address, and then you can give them a nickname. So it's pretty simple. Now this is an official wallet, so this would be live. This is an actual wallet that I've already created, and I noticed something interesting in the beta. So I've got some questions on that, and just basically giving them my feedback about that. Is yeah. So here's the importing the 12 words. So you can see I'm on mainnet, which is real, like where we have all of our balances of HNT. You notice the app gets pink at the top as well when we're on testnet. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that I can show. I suppose in the settings here, you can reveal your words. You can create a default, mark a default account. You can enable a PIN. You can have it auto convert to currency. Choose which currency you want in here. There's all sorts of currencies, which is nice. And then you can tell it to enable testnet. So I'm not sure if there's anything else that is different. Is okay. So as far as I can tell on my screen, everything is forwards. Is it backwards at all, or are we good to go? I guess give me some comments there. And I've been kind of checking on the comments more so at the beginning, but missed a bunch. So we'll get to questions at the end. You can't get notifications. Oh, it's backwards. My apologies. I don't know. That seems very strange, but okay. So if it's, I'll flip it back. This looks really weird on my screen, but if it's good for you all, then I will trust that. My apologies. I will keep it like this then. Good feedback. So I will go back through these screens just a little bit more, so that you aren't so confused. Here's the import screen. And then here's an actual Helium wallet. And then for testnet, I didn't show this earlier, but here's the request screen. So you can request it via QR code, or you can say, here, give me a link, and you can send this link to somebody. Now, I did notice that at least on this phone, there's a little bit of a weird, it hides the screen size is not as big. And so I have to scroll down here, but I can't quite, it scrolls off the screen. Now I can just tap the top part of the button and it's fine, but that's maybe a little bit of improvement back to the UI team, to the Helium team to fix that. So, okay, cancel. There we go. And then you can just go to an address book and add contacts as well. So pretty simple app. Again, there's no hotspot onboarding because that's going to be from a different group or from the makers. I don't know if there's any other questions on the Helium wallet or the new one and what we'll see here. Again, this is in beta. I believe in in the article it said Q2. So it could be 3 months before we still see this, but it being in beta mode right now is great. And it's awesome. I'm sure that they'll be reviewing this for your feedback. So if you have any feedback, you love it, hate it, whatever, have some suggestions. I definitely recommend that you put it in the comments here, and then I'm sure that the Helium team will look at this and review it. I know one of the things that, and I'm going to do this on testnet. So if I go through this, and not that I care, I'm not going to keep this account, but I'm going to switch screens here for just a minute and then cycle through all these words. Okay. All right, so we're at the end, and then now there's this confirm words screen. So this one thing I did notice is that you have to go through every single word and confirm them. Every single one, not just like a handful of them. Another thing that at least bothers me a little bit, maybe I'm just a little bit more visually sensitive. Oops, sorry. Must have bumped it or something. See if I can get this working again. And while it comes back up, when you're choosing between, there we go. When you're choosing between all these words, it has that black and white effect. And I'm familiar with the kind of an optical illusion where it creates kind of haloing of dots that kind of float in there. And so that was some feedback that I gave them, is like, hey, this messes with my eyes a little bit. So UI design feedback. It might be nitpicky. I don't know. but I thought it would be good to mention that. So that's the Helium app. I don't see any questions on the Helium wallet app. Um, so I'll just questions in general. Welcome back. All right, let's go back through the question. Does the ping test work as well as Helium status? In the past, it hasn't been as reliable in my experience. So we could go back. I used it today actually to check on a miner, and it actually had some really good information on its uptime. So it worked and it was responsive. So I didn't have any issues with it. Wanted to tell you I learned how to connect to my 5G small cell to my phone, but it will only connect if you also connect Gig Sky. This is a problem. We need to be able to connect directly to it. I think that's what I understand. You're saying so. Yes, right now the Gig Sky app is the only thing that you can connect with and do data transfer from your uh, 5G small cell. There is no, and I did get the Freedom Fi SIM card, and I have not been able to get that thing to work yet. It doesn't. It doesn't. It was supposed to like do some data transfer, maybe get you onto your own network or something like that. But I haven't been able to figure it out yet. So it's probably on me rather than a technological problem. But yeah, the only provider out there so far is Gig Sky. So that's and now my own membership or whatever bill cycle. They gave me a 2-month free card, so now I'd have to actually buy a plan or to extend it. So it's not like a pay as you pay as you use it or whatever type of plan. So there we go. That kind of answers that question. Hopefully, if you have further up or follow up, just drop it in the chat. Should I be worried about my drop in rewards? Still earning above average, 0.2 to 0.55 in the last few months. Suburbs 5.8 Bobcat, good location externally 10 meters up. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. My situation sounds roughly from the same, and that's where I've seen. I think the lowest I've seen is 0.2, 8 or something like that. Like 0.3 seems to be the lowest that I've seen, and then it's gone all the way up, even recently as high as like 1.3. And I don't understand the volatility as well. I know that they're messing with the deny list, and of course, there's gamers out there that are moving hotspots around and stuff. So I'm not sure what causes that like huge volatility of like 0.3 to 1.3. I mean, of course, I'm not going to complain. That's awesome. But wanting to understand it a little bit more would be a good thing. So, so it sounds like you're doing what you can. The thing you can keep trying to do is experiment, see what's different about your setup or what other people are doing. And us also, one tip is what I'm doing is putting 2 miners in one location. So even though it 50%, it cuts them and halves the earnings, you're able to basically in your mind double those such that you get a comparative. So maybe you end up that that 3 dBi is actually earning more than the 8 dBi or something like that. Then you're able to figure that out yourself. So that's of course if you have 2 miners available to you. Otherwise, you can just flip through the different antennas and do your trials that way. Of course, you just got to wait. I miss disco mode. I really liked disco mode. Let's go over the Bobcat app. Yeah, I get that. We'll see if we can make that happen for next time. I do have a Bobcat, so I'll be able to do some testing with it. I gotta figure out how to obscure stuff. I haven't figured that out yet as far as like OBS and stuff. I might have to pre-record that video and then edit out some of the stuff in there so that I haven't doxed my personal stuff yet. of course, if then that would be another reason to maybe get the people's hotspot back so that I can talk about the results and show that kind of stuff, because that's been the intention there. Okay, that answers that. Will you see my comment? Also, do you know when we'll be able to earn and get some kind of return on our investment on the smell swell? So yeah, that's a good question. And I've seen, if you're in the Discord at all, there's been a wide range of estimates on that. So maybe I can give you the range of the best, the worst answer I saw. So the one that gives me the best hype, even is just Amir Halim. Was quoted as saying there's going to be a lot of new news coming out in the next like few weeks. Now, what does that mean? We don't know. It's only speculation. It's only hype at this point. Of course, he's tended to drop huge nuggets well before what's been talked about. So, like for instance, he put the buy sells 5G thing out, and he posted that online way before we could even get things ourselves. So, who knows? It can move a lot faster and just be like, "Yep, we were waiting on agreements. We were waiting on the crypto markets, whatever it is." It could be soon. It could be very, very soon. We know that there's going to be a launch of, I think, 2 more providers like, I don't want to say like GigSky, but there's going to be 2 more things that we can basically, people can pay money to, and then get service through Helium, basically, through what we're doing. So that's in, I think it was in Q2. So that casts it out a little bit more, and it, maybe a little bit more, or the worst estimate that I've seen is somewhere around 6 to, I don't want to say 9 months, because it's more so 6 months at this time. I think I heard 9 months at the beginning of the year, and I was like, oh crap. So it's a long time. And I'm just hoping that we're going to see it sooner rather than later. And if there's anything that we can do from a testing standpoint, then that would be great to help out. Like, I don't care. I'm not doing anything with my small cell at this point. I don't have it installed at a location, though I've been searching for one in my area. But it's tough when you're like, you want to put what in where and why, and this is going to make me money, but not yet. Like, it's a kind of a hard sell. So at least for me, it has been. So maybe I need to work on my salesmanship a little bit more. So, but I'm fine doing more testing. The testing that I did do early on with the GigSky plan was just hosting Twitter Spaces through there. Of course, I caught some Pokemon through there. I did just the other day walk down the street. The weather was a little bit nicer, and I was able to get service about a block away. It detected service. Of course, I don't have my data plan anymore because it's inactive, but I did get service about the connection at least a block away, if not a little bit more. So there's a question there. Let's see here. Last question that I'm seeing so far. What are my current thoughts on 5G? So I gave a little bit more information on that. No, you said I don't see a point in opening up my Freedom Fi. So it's a miner, right? You can do LoRaWAN mining with your Freedom Fi miner, and that's what I'm doing. So while I was in that test mode, of testing the 5G side, then I'm still mining the LoRa side as well. And maybe you can do what I talked about earlier. Even if you already have a miner at one location, you can use your Freedom Fi miner to put up 2, and then kind of do some comparative analysis and throw up another antenna, or whatever you want to do, or experiment with a directional antenna. There's lots of things you can do with 2 hotspots in one location, and not necessarily negate your earnings unless you're already at, if you're alone in your hex, then you're all right. But of course, you add another one, then you'll go down to 50%. There might be some hex greater hex levels that if you get to um, over a certain limit and you do add your new miner, then you could affect a hex at a bigger level, and then of course turn down your earnings just a little bit. So my Bobcat has lost witnesses. Is there something going on with Bobcat? I don't know of anything. I haven't heard anything um, like wide, network wide. I was messing with my Bobcat the other day, and I noticed it was down, and so I just reviewed my setup, and it looks to be mining again. So checking the connections. Of course, whenever you mess with your setup, it's always good to be suspect about. I probably did something. I'm gonna go back, go look at it again, or go out to either Helium status or Hotspotty and run those status checks. Check your router, make sure it's connected there. Um, so those are some good tips to do. But losing witnesses is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that can be organic, right? There's deny list operations as well that are happening. So gamers are being taken off the network. And what else is happening? Just there's more data flowing through as far as like proof of coverage. So people could be redeploying them. Maybe they don't think it's profitable. There could be those could be fleet owned, and they're sending them back. So every time, think about the fleet owners that send out their hotspots, and then the people that are hosting them like them so much, and then they get their miners of their own. They finally get them, and then it's almost like a wave of like miners exit, but there should be more to back them. So something to think about. But check out your setup. Maybe there's something went wrong. Maybe there's water in your connections or something like that. Um, just kind of visit that whole setup again. It's good to just check your connections. I know that one time I went out and looked at my connections, and there was actually water in there. And so checking everything over is a good thing. Tightening everything just naturally is just proper good maintenance. We Some of us have been doing this for 6 months to a year now, perhaps even longer. So it's definitely time to get out and take advantage of the good weather if it's better where you are, and check your setup. Make sure everything's good and tight and ready to last the summer. All right. Next question says, I have a good location. Currently, one is running there. Would you recommend adding another hotspot? How many at one location till the earnings decrease? So I talked about that just a little bit earlier. If you are the only one in your hex and then you add another one, each one will get 50%. And then if there are categorically at different hex levels, Hotspotty does a great job of drawing the hexes on there. And maybe I could switch over to that to show something like that. Let's do that. Oh, sorry. Such fun when I do that. All right, Hotspotty. Of course. There we go. All right, so we'll look at Puny Pecan Eel here. So as I scroll in, I'm not going to be able to see. I have to click on this, the hex icon up here. So if I look at the Res 7, oh, great. It went back to seems to be running a little bit slower. It's probably because I have so many hotspots in here at one time. And this is, of course, New York. Maybe it'd be better to go to another location. There we go. Zoom out a bit. There we go. So I don't know where Puny Pecan Eel came in, but that doesn't quite matter right now. So let's just pick this one. Of course, while it loads. There we go. All right. So I'm going to pick this one, quiet porcelain oyster, and then go back and look at our Res 7 here. And hopefully this will work. Okay. Well, we'll look in this hex then. Maybe if I just zoom in here, it will perform a little bit better. There we go. Okay. So here we have in one hex, this is the Res 7. So it says one too many. So in here, there's one hotspot. If they took it out, then the transmit scale would go to 1. So there wouldn't be any loss of earnings. Oh, there we go. See, I'm remembering. I haven't done this in a while. So reward scaling. This is, I think, the proper way to get to it. The team at Hotspot is probably going to laugh. Come on, Ed. Okay. So here you would see that for Silly Umber Canary, at the Res 10, it's fully occupied, which Res 10 is like your hex, right? So if you add another one, then this goes to 0.5. Now at the Res 9, it's still fine. The Res 8 says 2 available. So that means 2 more at this level. And let's see if I can actually highlight that and then go back up. And then we can see how big is a Res 8. So there we go. So now you can count how many hotspots can be in this hex right here. Neighbor hexes. Interesting. Okay. So maybe it's all of these combined, I think is what I'm understanding. I could learn more about this and probably speak to it better. So there's one available over there, one available over there. I think this is kind of in that sense of, hey, there's 2 available, but you only have 2 of them can be spread over each of these. Now, neighbor E has 1 too many, so you wouldn't want to put one there. You can't put it in B because it's fully occupied. So is D. So you really have A, C, or F is where you'd put it if you had the ability to put miners in any location. So A, C, or F. So, or if this one came back online, then that one would say, hey, that you're at your limit, at least for one of them. Now you could add them in. Oh, so as F. So yeah, this one actually has more. So you could put that one could come back online and you could still put 2 more and then this hex would be full. So that's kind of how to read that. I will go back over to the comments and look through. If you burn up a miner by not having the antenna hooked up, will your miner still operate normally? So it's not great if you disconnect your antenna, right? You should always keep it hooked up. If you burn it, that probably would affect your ability to witness. So your miner might operate ish, but it's not going to be able to witness, and not provide proof of coverage, which would then it could still participate in challenges, but not do the witnessing aspect. And of course, challenges are getting moved off hotspots, so you wouldn't want to. You basically wouldn't get rewarded for that anymore. Do you think Bobcat knows you're spoofing if you are like a couple houses down than the actual location? So this was talked about really early on in Helium, is that like you're not going to get in trouble if you're asserted at the next house over, or even a couple houses down, or even the next hex over. Eventually, maybe POC will improve to that level, but the bigger problem is people asserting to like the other side of the world or out in the middle of the ocean or whatever. So yeah, yeah, I'm not sure about the OTA update. I haven't seen anything on that, but I could watch a little bit more, see how my Bobcat is doing. All right, we have reached an hour. So, as I thought it would be long, there's a lot. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. Um, Thanks for watching. It's been a while. I know it has. I've been doing vacation and just kind of enjoying some time to myself. I have not uh, dropped off the helium radar. Helium is very much still on my plate. I am working on a sensor project. I am stuck in compiler error messages right now. So if you've got expertise in working in Arduino, definitely drop me a note and maybe we can do some pair programming. That would think that'd be a lot of fun. So, all right. Thank you very much. And till next time, Carpe Tempestus, everyone.